Scorpio Sky, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Zay, collectively known as SoCal Uncensored or
STU! This is Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the worst podcast I've ever been on. Word.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the best podcast you never heard of. My name's Tom. I am your host. Today is Sunday, December 27th, 2020. It is the last show of 2020, and this year cannot end quick enough for me. I want to thank everybody for listening, watching, and subscribing on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast from. Make sure you're following on social media on all platforms. You can find the show at Catch, Hook, Shoot. Head to patreon.com/catchhookshoot for bonus content, prowrestlingtees.com/catchhookshoot for t-shirt needs, catchhookshoot.bigcartel.com for other merchandise, and you can find links to all of that and more on linktree/catchhookshoot. Either look that one up or scan this QR code right here in the corner of your screen. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll get links to everything that is Catch, Hook, and Shoot. And if you ever want to shoot me an email, it's catchhookshoot@gmail.com. Starting the show off on another very sad note, and I feel like I have said that way too many times this year. Crazy week in pro wrestling. We lost three pretty big names in the wrestling world, starting with Kevin Green at the beginning of the week, former NFL linebacker, and also wrestled a number of matches in WCW back in the 90s during the Monday Night Wars, and he passed away earlier this week, as did Danny Hodge, wrestling legend, considered one of the greatest amateur and professional wrestlers of all time. And just yesterday, John Huber, better known to wrestling fans as Luke Harper or Brody Lee, passed away, and that was, very sudden, very unexpected, and just the outpouring of love for Brody Lee online has been just overwhelming. And there will be a little bit later on in the show. There's going to be a tribute to all of the wrestlers who we lost this year, but these three, just this past week. So rest in peace to all three. So, as they say, the show must go on, so let's start everything off like we always do with the match of the week. So this week's match of the week comes from AEW Dynamite, and it is Top Flight versus Chris Jericho and MJF. Top Flight just continues to impress, since their debut in AEW, moved from Dark up to Dynamite very, very quickly. And even though they've lost their first couple of matches versus the Young Bucks and now versus Jericho and MJF, I mean, they have put on amazing performances. Top Flight, just a fantastic tag team, and when you take into consideration these guys are only 19 and 21 years old, they're just going to continue to get better, which is ridiculous to think about. But if you have not seen this match, definitely go back and check it out. Top Flight, for my money, is the team to watch coming up in 2021. I would be very surprised if Top Flight are not AEW Tag Team Champions within the next year. I would be very surprised. But, like I said, if you haven't seen this match yet, go back and check it out from AEW Dynamite on Wednesday. Top Flight versus Chris Jericho and MJF. You will not be disappointed. So, moving right along into the next segment of the show, my top three highlights of the week, and that is called the 3 Count. All right, so first up on the 3 Count, Randy Orton sets The Fiend on fire. And this, of course, is from the Firefly Inferno match from WWE TLC last weekend. Definitely a departure from Inferno matches that we've seen previously. They were able to kind of do a little bit more without having fans there. This match was obviously pre-recorded, but no fans in the arena, and they had I would call them fire stations set up all throughout the arena, some different configurations. They had some spires that kind of, shot fire up into the air, and it was a really cool look for an Inferno match, rather than having the fire just surrounding the four sides of the ring. Randy Orton was victorious, and, ended up setting the Fiend's back on fire, but the Fiend was still coming at him, grabbed him in the mandible claw. They got back in the ring, and Orton RKO'd the Fiend and then poured gasoline all over him and just set him ablaze in the middle of the ring. And, it was a cool visual. Obviously, it was a mannequin. So many people online talking about, oh, it was fake, it was a man. Well, no shit. You're not going to set a man on fire in the middle of a freaking wrestling ring. Come on now. How stupid do you have to be to sit there and say, oh, it was a dummy? No kidding. I mean, come on now. But anyway, it was a very cool spot, and just kind of took, Randy Orton's sadistic tendencies to a whole nother level. So, I thought that it was a great way to end the match. Number 2 up on the 3 count, Shawn Spears cut a really good promo on AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday, and basically, sounds like just kind of letting frustrations out about kind of his spot since he's been in AEW and things like that. So I think Shawn Spears being positioned possibly for a pretty good push in AEW. He definitely deserves it, in my opinion. I thought when he first came in, the rivalry with Cody and everything like that started off pretty hot, and then just kind of fell off a little bit. Was paired with Tully Blanchard. It kind of sounds like he's not with Tully anymore. He, took the leather glove that he's been wearing to, that he's been loading up to win his matches on AEW Dark, and just kind of threw it to the side, says, I don't need that. I'm a better wrestler than everybody on this roster, and things like that. So it looks like Shawn Spears being positioned for, possibly to be put into a major significant program on AEW. Number 3 on the 3 count, new Intercontinental Champion Big E defeated Sami Zayn on Friday Night Smackdown this week. Really good match between these two guys. It was a lumberjack match, and Big E, definitely along the same lines as Spears, being put in a pretty good position and looking like he's being pushed up the card, which is definitely good. So Big E, your new Intercontinental Champion. So moving into news and rumors and results for the week. First, let's go through the results from WWE TLC. Drew McIntyre is still the WWE champion. He retained his title in a tables, ladders, and chairs match. And interesting spot during this match, The Miz cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase in the middle of the match and basically made it a triple threat. But McIntyre was still able to retain. Sasha Banks retained the SmackDown Women's Championship. The Hurt Business are your new Raw Tag Team Champions. So very, very cool. That's what I was looking for in that one. I'm really liking the Hurt Business as a faction on Monday Night Raw, and now everybody in the group has championships. Bobby Lashley, the U.S. champion, and Cedric and Shelton are the tag team champions. Your new women's tag team champions are Asuka and Charlotte Flair. Charlotte was Asuka's mystery partner, which was rumored quite a bit before the show. Roman Reigns retained the Universal Championship against Kevin Owens with a bit of help from Jey Uso as usual. I'm really still liking heel Roman Reigns a lot. And I already talked about Randy Orton defeating The Fiend by setting him on fire in the middle of the ring. Moving on to Monday Night Raw, getting back to The Miz cashing in during that TLC match for the WWE Championship. Now, The Miz is basically campaigning to get the Money in the Bank contract back, saying that it was John Morrison who cashed in, which technically it was. Morrison was the one that handed the briefcase to the ref and said, yeah, he's cashing in right now. So it was not The Miz, technically, who cashed in. So I'm curious to see where they're going with this. Are they going to give the briefcase back to The Miz or not? T-Bar of Retribution defeated Ricochet. Retribution still trying to get Ricochet to join up with them. And a really, really cool segment. Randy Orton came out to the ring, cutting a promo on The Fiend, saying that he destroyed The Fiend and Fiend's never coming back and this and that. And then we saw the lights go down kind of made you think the Fiend was coming when the lights came back up. We saw Alexa Bliss in the ring in what's being called Alexa's Playground with, playground equipment and swings and stuff like that. And, basically letting Randy know that the Fiend is coming back. So, I really, really am liking Alexa as an ally of the Fiend. She's done just an awesome job with this new character direction that she has. Moving on to NXT, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch retained in a street fight against Drake Maverick and Killian Dane. Isaiah Swerve Scott picked up a win over Jake Atlas, and they're still teasing a heel turn for Swerve, becoming much more cocky, arrogant, kind of getting in Atlas's face after the match after he picked up the victory. So, I would say a definite full-on heel turn is coming for Isaiah Swerve Scott. Rhea Ripley picked up a win over Dakota Kai, and pretty much immediately after the match got into a brawl with Raquel Gonzalez, which is leading to a last woman standing match at their New Year's Evil show coming up on January 6th. We saw another one of these training videos with Xia Li and Boa, and now looking like they're starting to really take to their training and almost starting to enjoy the torture that they've been enduring. So I would say we'll probably be seeing their re-debut on NXT anytime now, probably on the New Year's Evil show. That seems like the most likely place for it to happen. Still trying to figure out who this hooded figure is that's kind of controlling what's going on with them. There's been a few rumors out there. One of the big ones is that it's going to be Meiko Satomura, possibly. I don't think, from the little bit we've seen of this hooded person, I don't think it looks like Meiko, but I could be wrong. Who knows? But I'm sure we'll find that out as well in the next couple of weeks. Io Shirai came out to the ring to basically call out Toni Storm, and she was attacked by a returning Mercedes Martinez. So, rumors, well, not rumors, obviously Mercedes has not been with Retribution for quite some time now, so she is back in NXT as her former self, as her her normal self. So, it looks like Mercedes Martinez being thrown into the mix for the NXT Women's Championship, which is always a good thing. Timothy Thatcher threw out a challenge to Tommaso Ciampa for another match, and Ciampa accepts for a match in the Fight Pit. And I believe the Fight Pit, I don't think I've heard it referred to as that, but the Fight Pit, the match configuration where Thatcher defeated Matt Riddle before Riddle moved up to the main roster. So a match in that environment between Ciampa and Thatcher is going to be insane, to say the least. Found out another match for the New Year's Evil show coming up, Damian Priest versus Karrion Kross. I cannot wait to see this match. These two guys are going to tear each other apart, and I am here for it. So that definitely has the potential to steal the show. So I'm really looking forward to that one. And then in the main event, Adam Cole picked up yet another win over Velveteen Dream, who has not been on TV much recently. So, not sure what's going on with Velveteen Dream. A lot of controversy surrounding him, obviously, the last several months. So, no real direction there. Just seemed like this was just kind of a match that was thrown in there. Obviously, it's a great match. These two guys have faced each other a number of times, and it's always a good match with these two. It's just I'm not sure what's going on with the Dream currently. Moving on to SmackDown, Roman Reigns defeated Kevin Owens again in a rematch, this time in a cage. And again, with help from Jey Uso, who handcuffed KO to the cage so that Roman could exit. Charlotte and Asuka retained their championships versus in a triple threat match versus Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, and Bayley and Carmella. Jey Uso had a match against Daniel Bryan and again attacked Bryan before the match, but Daniel Bryan still ended up picking up the victory. And in an interview backstage afterwards, Daniel Bryan declared himself as the first entrant into the 2021 Royal Rumble. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say Bryan is probably going to be, the one, because there's always somebody who is in the ring for, an hour or so, and that's the person that kind of controls the flow of the match, typically. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's going to be Bryan, because he already has, the record for the longest time in a Royal Rumble, and that was in the greatest Royal Rumble that was held in Saudi Arabia. I want to say it was something like 76 minutes he was in there. So, and he is definitely one that can control the flow of the match and hang in there for a very long time. And of course, as I already spoke about in the main event, Big E defeated Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. Some miscellaneous WWE and NXT news. On January 4th is going to be a Legends Night on Monday Night Raw. A number of legends already named, to be there, including Hulk Hogan. I believe Carlito was actually one name that was put out there. Tori Wilson. So a lot of legends coming back for the January 4th Raw. And looks like if the stories are true, there are going to be 2 new NXT divisions popping up in 2021, one in India and one in Mexico. And the rumor that I read is the NXT Mexico is going to be kind of a Lucha Underground style show. So I'm curious to see how WWE would do something like that. I mean, I was a huge fan of Lucha Underground. I loved the way that show was produced, because it was half wrestling, half regular TV show. So I mean, with WWE's production values and things like that, it could either be really, really good or it could just be horrible. So I'm cautiously optimistic about this one. I'll put it that way. And another rumor that's floating around out there, Trish Stratus is said to be in talks to be a producer for NXT. So that that could definitely be a big boost for NXT, especially in the women's division, which is already one of the best women's divisions out there in NXT. So we'll see. I'm sure we'll find out in the coming weeks and months how much truth there is to that. But yeah, Trish Stratus as an NXT producer would definitely be a great thing. Moving on to AEW, I already talked about Jericho and MJF picked up the win over Top Flight in just a fantastic match between these two teams. And after the match, Jake Hager got on the microphone, which you don't see too often, and called out Wardlow because Wardlow has not been there the last couple of weeks. I think I talked about it on the show that he had a family issue that he was attending to, so he hasn't been at TV the last couple of weeks. But we found out that there is going to be finally a match between Wardlow and Jake Hager coming up this week on AEW Dynamite, which is night 1 of their New Year's Smash event. Saw another promo from Sting, and of course Team Taz had to come out and make their presence known just as they were about to get in the ring and apparently attack Sting. The lights went down and they came back up. Darby Allin was in the ring standing next to Sting. So I'm waiting to see where this Sting and Darby Allin thing is going to go. I mean, I think a match between these two would be good, or possibly Sting ends up being, kind of a mentor to Darby Allin, maybe. Not that I don't think Darby Allin really needs a manager, but I think him and Sting would mesh well together, and so I'm can't wait to see what's going to come of this one. Jurassic Express picked up a win over the Dark Order. FTR, still haven't had a match since they dropped the tag team titles, but they're talking a lot of trash lately about especially about Jurassic Express. So I'm sure there's going to be a match in the very near future between Jurassic Express and FTR. Pac picked up a win over the Butcher. Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford announced their wedding date is going to be at the Beach Break event for AEW coming up on February the 3rd. And we found out that Trent of the Best Friends is injured currently. There was a spot during the Kip and Penelope wedding announcement that showed Trent being taken away in an ambulance, and apparently this is a legitimate injury. Obviously the thing on TV was just to write him off of TV and explain, his absence. But apparently he's got I believe it was a torn pectoral muscle, is what he posted on social media. So he is going to be out for several months apparently. Dustin Rhodes picked up a win over Evil Uno. We saw Abaddon with another attack on Hikaru Shida. And, this rivalry has been building for a few weeks, and there is going to be a title match also this coming week on AEW Dynamite. Shida defending against Abaddon, so that should be a very good match. Abaddon is one that has grown on me a lot since her debut in AEW, so I cannot wait to see this one either. And the Young Bucks successful in defending their AEW Tag Team Championships against the Acclaimed in another great tag team match. We also found out that again this coming week on night one of New Year's Smash for AEW, Kenny Omega going to be defending the AEW World Championship against Phoenix. So that's just going to be a fantastic match. And Jon Moxley will be returning as well. Some MLW news. Your 2020 Opera Cup winner is Filthy Tom Lawler. Picked up the victory in the finals of that tournament against Low Key. And this is another one. If you have not checked out MLW from this week, or you have not checked out MLW at all, watch this match. These two guys got in there and beat the hell out of each other. And, Lawler and Low Key, probably two of the hardest hitting guys in wrestling. So if you haven't checked out MLW yet, it's on YouTube. It's free. So you can't use the excuse, I don't get the channel that they're on. It's on YouTube, guys, for free every week. Check it out. Check this match out and find out what MLW is all about, because this match was just ridiculously good. So, that pretty much does it for news and rumors for the week. Impact this past week was, the first of their year-end shows where they just kind of recap everything that went on throughout the year. So, right now I am going to throw it over to Charlie G, and he is here with your Indie Cut.
Thank you, Tom, and hey there, wrestling friends. I am Charlie G with your Indie Cut. It has been officially a year as a part of the podcast, and I can't thank Tom enough for the gift of letting me be a small part of the show and all the fun we have at Warrior Wrestling shows. Hopefully next year I will be better for all of you and better for wrestling. So let's begin with Friday, December 18th. 01 Fighting Beer Garden 2020 from Japan. Where we had Masato Tanaka team with Takuya Sugiura to defeat Sanjiro Otani and Takuma Baba. Sorry about that. We head back to the States quickly for Pro South Wrestling Anniversary Super Show 12. Oh, God, I love ramen noodles. Alright, for their all-out title, Brandon Watley defeated champion Cameron Keese to become new champion. For their tag titles, we had Ace Haven team with Damian Certone. Sorry about that. To defeat champions Joe Black and William Huckabee to become new champions there as well. And for their heavyweight title, Austin Towers defeated champion Tyler Culprit to become new champion. So Pro South is having new champions starting next year. For Alternative Pro Wrestling from Royston, Georgia. For the North Georgia title, champion Caleb Crocker defeated Strychnine in their tag title match. Dynamic Dexter and Stevie Ray Frost, who were champions, defeated Don E. and John Hogan. And then the main event was James Boulevard defeating Jake Jacobs. Over to New Japan Strong Show 20 Detonation. Rocky Romero defeated Danny Limelight. Jeff Cobb defeated Russ Taylor. Yep, Russ was on a New Japan show and still in NXT. There was a tag match of Fred Rosher and PJ Black to defeat JR Krotos and Tom Lawler. And for the United States heavyweight briefcase, Kenta retained against Brody King. Now on to Saturday, December 19th. 01 Tag Team Tournament Show. They're not all tag teams, so thank goodness for that. Sanjiro Otani defeated and Tatsuya Hanami defeated Chris Weiss, Yoshizaku Yokoyama. Asuka teamed with Masato Tanaka and Takuya Sagara to defeat Kanon, Ren Abe, and Tamura Hayata. And in the first round tag match, it was Hyde Kubota, Bada, and Yoshu Kubota to defeat Tawa Irosaki and Tetsuka Sato. On to Stardom. Show with only 188 people in attendance. Ruaka defeated Lady C. Konami defeated Mina Shirakawa and Saya Ida. Natsupoi and Siri defeated Tam Nakano and Unagi Sayaka. Riho teamed with Maya Iwatani and Starlight Kid to defeat Bea Priestley, Natsuko Tora, and Saki Kashima by DQ. Of course, another Chang was involved in that match. And the main event was Julia, Hibeka, and Maika to defeat Momo Watanabe, Saya Kamatani, and Utami Hayashita. Good show. So check that out if you can. On to World Women Pro Wrestling Diana. They had an afternoon show where Kyoko Inoue defeated Kari Yonayama, who was Gokiken Death, Madeline, and Ron Mara. For their Pro Wrestling Diana Queen Elizabeth title match, champion Jaguar Yokuda defeated Kazuki and Leon. And in their world title match, champion Ayoka Sato defeated Hineko Nakamori. They also had an evening show where Akira teamed with Rina Singaki to defeat Andres Miyagi and Madeline. Over to Glasgow, Scotland, and ICW Fight Club 150, where they continue to do their Lionheart League matches, and you can check that out on the WWE Network. Then to bear with me here, Campeonato Nacional de Lucha Libre from Santiago, Chile. So Chile, you are now on the map. They had first round matches for the world title. So S2S defeated Danny Montana, and El Mastro defeated Al Cold. Who knows if we'll see any more of them. But Chile, you're on the maps. Then on to Battle Championship Wrestling 40 from East Burwood, Australia. Adam Brooks took on Mick Moretti in a 30-minute draw. Back here in the States for Unified Wrestling Oklahoma from Midwest City, Oklahoma. For their UWO title, which is vacant, Blade defeated Brawler Morrison to become new champion. Rugged Pro Wrestling, A Very Rugged Christmas from Marshalltown, Iowa. For the Rugged Pro Highway title, champion Nikki Sent defeated Salty Dalty. And then later in the night, for the Highway title, in a no DQ match, champion Nikki Sent defeated Gable Galileo. We head down to Reality of Wrestling. Booker T's promotion, the Diamonds Division episode from Texas City, Texas. Rachel Rose defeated Vert Vixen. Jenna Lee defeated Danny B. And for their Diamonds Division triple threat match, Promise Braxton defeated Hyon and champion Roxy to become new champion. On to Renegade Championship Wrestling, Wreck the Halls from Chatsworth, Georgia. In their tag team, they had a ladder match where Chris Gans and Chris Lightning defeated champions Ethan Cage and Nate Wild to become new champions. And in their No Limits title match, champion Darian Crow defeated Dion Mercer. On to North American Wrestling Alliance Jingle Brawl from Daytona Beach, Florida. Gangrel defeated Kyagus for their now Intercontinental title match, which was vacant. Micah Taylor defeated Danny Inferno to become the champion. In their vacant women's three-way title match, Roma Luchadora defeated Lindsay Snow and Stormy Lee to become the champion. And for their vacant tag team titles in another three-way match, Francisco Ciazzo and Logan Creed defeated Hakeem Ali, Nick Payne, and then James Creed and Max Blaylock to become new champion. They also had Davey Boy Smith Jr. defeat Johnny Swinger. And for their NAWA title Hercules Cup Battle Royal, they presented Hercules family with a belt. So it's pretty much a Legends League, it seems like, and they've awarded Bruiser Brody, Hercules, and I believe someone else Legends titles to their families. And the winner of this Battle Royal was Chase Stevens. So congrats to him. On to Metroplex Wrestling, A Cold Day in Hell in Bedford, Texas. Maybe on this day it was actually that cold. In their Addicts title match, champion CJ Ward defeated Zero the Anti-Hero. For the MPX title no DQ match, champion Sky De La Cremosa defeated Matthew Palmer. And in an Ultimate Surrender 10-man tag match, bear with me, Casey Clay, Mr. Legs, Noah Navarre, Stephen Kirby, and Tatum Manning defeated Jackson Stone, JD Griffey, Joe Angelo Garcia, Ryan Remington, and Tommy Becker. On to Lions Pride Sports Winter Warfare 2. I don't know what happened to Warfare 1. From Bryan, Texas. They had a Lion Pride Sports title Loser Leaves Town ladder match. Champion Nobe Bryant defeated Jordan Lennox. Then on to Limitless Wrestling Vacation Land Cup 2020 in Yarmouth, Maine. I'll go through the first round matches for y'all. Daniel Garcia defeated Lee Moriarty. Kristen Casanova defeated CJ Cruz. JD Drake defeated Kevin Blackwood. And Alec Price defeated AC Romero. They had a tag match where Megabyte Ronnie teamed with Puff to defeat BRG and Channing Thomas. So for the Limitless World title, Vacation Land Cup, it was a four-way elimination match where Christian Casanova defeated Alec Price, Daniel Garcia, and JD Drake to become new champion. Then to Insane Championship Wrestling, Insane at Christmas Party 3 from West Allis, Wisconsin. Sorry about that city name, not sure where that is. For their tag title contendership match, Nell Dillinger and Zach McGuire defeated Chucky Bates and Gunnar Wicks. In an Anything Goes match, Swaggle defeated Brock Hall. For the tag titles, it was champions Doc Simmons and Zach Hendricks defeat Axel Rico and Brown Sugar. For the Midwest title, champion Sierra defeated Sky Blue in a no contest, so I hope Sky is okay. And then for their alternative title match, champion Juan Hernandez defeated TW3. Okay, on to Sunday, December 20th. Actress Girls Beginning show from Tokyo, Japan. They had tag team title tournament. No, I'm not going to do that. And then they had another show later in the day where Sairi, who's still in Japan, defeated Misa Matsu, and Saki defeated Hikari Sorry about that. I'll get those names better eventually. To Big Japan Pro Wrestling Death Mania 7. They had the Strong Hearts of Shima, El Lindemann, and T-Hawk defeat Koseki Sato, Kota Sukafuda, and Yuya Oki. Then Daisuke Sakamoto teamed with Yasumi Nakanoi to defeat the Brahman brothers of Brahman K and Brahman Shu. In the in their tag title match, champions Fuminaro Abe and Takuya Nomura defeated Kohei Sato and Shuji Ishikawa. For the Strong World title match, champion Yuji Okabayashi defeated Hideyoshi Kamatani. And I'll go through this one further. Deathmatch heavyweight title, Thousand Needles deathmatch. Champion Minoru Fujita defeated Yuko Miyamoto. There was a Dove Pro Bump Bump Revolution 16 show, if you want to check that out. Then on to Dragon Gate, the Final Gate show. I debated if I wanted to talk about it, since their main event was a joke, but I will go through some of the card. In a 4-way 6-man tag match. This is going to be fun. Dragon Dia, Kota Miyamura, and La Estrella defeated Shuji Kondo, Ultimo Dragon, with Yushi Kanda, KZY, UT, and Yamato, and Dio Inferno, Diamante, and Kazuma Sakamoto. Open the Brave Gate title match. Champion Koseki Okuda defeated Kagetora. For their Twin Gate title, champions BB Hulk and Kai defeated Don Fuji and Masaki Mochizuki. And then to open the Dream Gate title match, Shun Skywalker is champion, defeated Benkei in a joke of a match. If you don't know, Shun knocked out Benkei with a sliding elbow and then continued to wrestle him with jumping moonsaults. So Shun Skywalker, that's the last I'm talking about you for quite a while. Sorry folks. If you don't like it, go watch Dragon Gate yourself. Then New Japan Road to Tokyo Dome Day 4 took place. Pure J show took place. Then on to Stardom Osaka Dream Cinderella with an attendance of 1,027. This is pretty much like it seemed like their WrestleMania to me, because it was a nice big venue for them and they put on a heck of a show. So for the future of Stardom 3-way title, it was a 3-way match where Saya Ida defeated champion Maika and Saya Kamatani to become the champion. Saya pinned Saya. That was a good match. In their tag team match, Konami and Natsuka Tora defeated Riho and Ryuka. So no chain involved there for a change. Himeka and Natsupoi defeated B. Priestley and Saki Kashima. For the high-speed title match, Zumi, who was champion, defeated Mei Hashizuki, who was from Marvelous. That was a really nice match as well. For the Artists of Stardom title, they had an elimination match. So, Mina Shirakawa, Ken Nakano, and Unagi Sayaka, who are champions, defeated Gokiken Death, Mayu Iwatani, and Starlight Kid, with Mina eliminating Mayu, Starlight Kid, and then finally pinning Gokiken Death to retain the championship. Fun match, kind of short actually, but it was still a nice match nonetheless. Then they had for the Wonder of Stardom and SWA Undisputed Championship, with the Wonder Stardom champion Julia went against SWA champion Siri to a 30-minute time limit draw. That was an awesome match. And for the World of Stardom title, champion Utami Hayashita defeated Momo Watanabe. All these matches are great. Check that out if you can. You know where to find it within a week, so check that out if you can. Then on to the States for Without a Cause, Without a Crowd number 5 over on their Twitch network. I've yet to look it up. Sorry about that. They continue with their Stallions title scramble qualifying matches, so I won't get into those. Then to All-Star Pro from Bethany, Oklahoma for their title. For the ASP title, champion Double D defeated Reven. And for the Battle Right Gauntlet match, Brawler Morrison won that. On to Mexico for International Wrestling Revolution Group 27. No need to talk about that show too much. On to Monday the 21st of December, New Ice Freeman 1086 show took place. For their IW Under 19 title, champion Humuko Hoshi, who was champion, defeated Ibuki Hoshi, one of their sisters. Really need to watch Ice Freeman like this. For the International Ribbon Tag Team title, champion Hiragi Kurumu, and Mochi Miyagi defeated Mika Ozaki and Ram Kaicho. Then New Japan or the Tokyo Dome Day 5 took place. Then down to PWA Black Label Premiership Day 10 from New South Wales, Australia, where they had Premiership Block B matches. So no need to get into those. On to Tuesday, New Japan Road to the Tokyo Dome Day 6. I'll talk about this since it was Gato, Jay White, and Kenta defeating Juice Robinson, Kota Ibushi, and Sho. At some point during the match, Juice Robinson sustained an eye injury to his eye socket, knocking him out of Wrestle Kingdom in his match against Kenta. So Kojimi is now taking his place for the right of the U.S. title briefcase. John Moxley, please go to Japan. Beat Kenta already. Enough of this already. Then there was a DDT Saturday Kashubani show. Yeah, where Akito, Kazuki Hirata, and Shoto defeated Hideki Okatani, Shun Yakiyama, and Makoto Oshii. And Kasuke Takashita and Shunma Katsumata defeated Hiroshi Yamato and Tatsuya Endo. On to my favorite of Tokyo Joshi Pro, No Merry Christmas 2020. Suzumi defeated Sina Shiori. Nodeka Tenma defeated Haruno Neko. Shoka Nakajima defeated Maria Miyomi. In a 6-woman tag, Hikari Noa, Miyu Watanabe, and Raku defeated Hypermichio, Mizuki, and Moka Miyamoto. Rika Tatsumi defeated Marika Kabashi. And a tag match of Mihiro Kiru and Yuki Kamafuku defeated Nai Kakuta and Yuki Ono. Yuka Sakazaki defeated Pam Harajuku, and Maki Ito took on Mio Yamashita to a 10-minute draw. Nice show by Tokyo Joshi Pro. That was kind of their taped show to end the holidays, so check that out if you can. On to Basra 144, Glitter for their Iron Fist Tag Tournament. Their final match, Daiki Simo Mora and Yushami Kodeka defeated Hiroto Katsu and Sagat. This picture was final. On to the States in New South Action Class Wrestling number 15. From Hainesville, Alabama, for the New South Tag Titles, champions Dylan McQueen and Kenzie Page defeated Bailey Blake and Daniel Perez. Sean Christopher defeated Mo Atlas, and Adam Priest defeated Donnie Janela. On to Wednesday, December 23rd, Seedling Final Battle. For Seedling Beyond the Sea Tag Title match, Sari and Yoshiko, who are champions, defeated Nana Takahashi and Ryo Muzunami. DDT Dramatic 2020 Marine show took place. I don't need to get into that. And then also DDT did a Onita versus Curry-chan final Christmas battle. Skytree Street Current Explosion Wrestling. So this is a fun show. You know where to check that out. DJ's channel. So in a 6-man tag at the mall, it was Mizuki and Yuka Sakazaki and Hikari Noah defeating Rika Kobashi, Miyu Yamashita, and Odeka Tenma. Then somewhere on the street, Kosada Higuchi, Saki Aki, and Yukio Sakaguchi defeated Akito, Tensiko Dino, and Kazuki Hirata. Then in an 8-man tag match at the water park, which was actually a kind of fun match, Hiroshi Yamato, Matt Pauli, Soma Takayo, and Tetsuya Endo defeated Kenshiko Takashita, Shunma Katsumata, Mayo, Yuki Uno. Sorry about all that. Then in the current Bat Explosion Deathmatch, Curry-chan with Shinya Oki, Super Sense Dango, and Machine, and Yuki Kamafuki defeated Atsushi Onita, Chris Brooks, Maki Ito, and Senshiri Takagi. Fun show. Check that out. Nothing serious there, folks. It was just all fun. Then on to New Japan Road to Tokyo Dome Day 7, where Kota Ibushi and Sho actually defeated Bushi and Tetsuya Naito. Back here in the States, Limitless the Road, Season 2, Episode 10. From Yarmouth, Maine, Andrew Palace defeated Channing Thomas. Sean William O'Brien defeated Love Doug. Jeremy Leary defeated Jacob Drifter. And Armani Chaos with Paris Van Dale defeated Team C-Stars of Ashley Fox and Dummy Uxo. On to Paradigm Pro Wrestling. Rules UWFI Rules Contender Series 1. In their Heavy Hitters title, champion Mo Alice defeated Flash Thompson. On to Thursday, December 24th. For Full Force Wrestling from England. Check that out on the YouTube channel, where for their FFW title, champion Thomas James Sky defeated Joey Scott. Then YMZ Gokiken Christmas on YouTube, so check that out if you wish. Where Gokiken or Kari Yonoyama defeated Sayaka Obihiro. There are a few other matches on that. DDT Boys Christmas Eve edition show took place where Chris Brooks defeated Jun Akiyama. Alright, way to go, Chris. And then Shakariki 8 Girls Bravo show took place, where Sari and Yoshiko defeated Itsuki Oki and Tsukasa Fujimoto. Back here in the States for New South Pro Wrestling, the Dump Sanders Holiday Special from Haynesville, Alabama. Nolan Edwards defeated Jordan Oliver. Jaden Newman defeated Kenzie Page. In a Dirty Santa match, Sean Christopher defeated Kevin Ryan. And in the 6-man match, Adam Priest, Derek Neal, and Stephen Michaels defeated Donnie Janela, Shug D, and Tyler Francis. High tension wrestling, Can't Believe Frog Christmas Trios matches took place. In a Christmas Chaos match, Blank defeated Darius Carter. In a Christmas Trios final match, Boomer Hatfield, Molly McCoy, and Still Life with Apricots and Pears defeated Devontae's Matt Mikowski, and Travis Huckabee. Then they also had a Christmas Trios Open Swim show on Facebook where Cheeseburger defeated The Whisperer. On to Friday, December 25th, where Christmas Wrestling, Goto Move Chocolate Pro 74 show took place on YouTube. I won't get into those. Flophouse Goddamn Holiday Special from Terre Haute, Indiana. Yeah. For their Flophouse Tag Title Gauntlet match, Dick Michaels and Tyler Lytle are new champions there. And in their Flophouse title match, which was three-way, champion Mo Atlas defeated Justin Kyle and Mickey Knuckles. On to earlier today, Ice Ribbon 1088 took place. And then Noah Congo Produce Diamond 3 took place. Not much there either. DDT and Tokyo Pro also taped a few shows, but for late in the week, so I'll review that next week. In some other news, for our favorite championship, the DDT Ironman Heavy Metal Weight Championship, Britt Baker's copy of the Young Bucks Killing the Business from Backyards to the Big Leagues became champion on the 17th. So yes, the Young Bucks book is now champion as well. On to a little disturbing news. AAA USA, which I didn't even know existed, has sued AAA Mexico and wanting more money from their outside profits. Outside of Mexico profits. So, in doing so, AAA's YouTube and Facebook pages were taken down. What perfect timing for money-grubbing times. So if you want to watch Triple Mania, you're going to have to search around because it's no longer up on those pages. Sorry. What a bummer. Especially when they did such great business for Triple Mania. So that's a wrap for me. Till next time when maybe I'll be in a better mood and do some quick independent awards. Since it's running actually late. It's 30 minutes into this recording. Don't forget to look up those Twitch streams and YouTube channels and see me slacking around for other wrestling content. Thank you for watching or listening. Hope you enjoyed the cut. Have a safe start to your new year. Take care and be kind, everyone. Back to you, Tom.
All right, thank you very much, Charlie. And so right now, I am going to play a memorial video for all of the wrestlers that we have lost in 2020. I did my best to make sure I included everybody who passed away this year, whether it was, a major star, a legend, indie guys, whatever it might be, anybody in the wrestling world who we lost this year. Like I said, I did my best to include everybody. If I missed anyone, it was not intentional. Feel free to drop me a comment or send me a message or whatever if I did miss somebody. I'm going to be posting this video on social media on New Year's Eve. So, if there is anybody I missed, or God forbid, if we lose anybody else between now and then, I will be updating it before I post it on social media. So, like I said, if I missed anyone that any of you guys are aware of, please drop me a comment, send me a message, let me know so that I can add them before I post the video on social media. So for those of you watching on YouTube, you will see pictures of all of the wrestlers that have passed away this year, and for those listening on any of the podcast platforms, you will hear the names being read with the music playing in the background. So without any further ado, please take a minute to remember all of the stars that we lost this past year, and just rest in peace to all of them. So once again, rest in peace to all of the wrestling personalities that we lost in 2020, and condolences to all of their friends and family and fans. And yeah, just way too many this year. I said at the opening of the show, I have opened the show saying that we're starting off on a sad note way too many times this year. And, as a fan, I have shed a lot of tears in 2020. And, I know some people may think it's weird to be crying or be so sad over the passing of someone that, you may not have even known on a personal level. But if that's what you think, then, you really don't understand. I mean, when you're a wrestling fan, and I mean a lifelong diehard wrestling fan like myself and like so many other people all over the place, these people, these men and women become a part of your life in a lot of ways. And, you follow their career, you follow their ups and downs, their triumphs, their tragedies, their victories, their defeats, and, you become attached, and it does become, an important part of your life, and that's not a bad thing. It shows you're human. It shows you have emotions, so yeah, just again, rest in peace to everybody that we lost this year, and condolences to all the family, friends, and fans out there for all of these wonderful performers that are no longer with us. So moving on to the next segment of the show, where I get to play kind of the armchair promoter here. It is the Fantasy Booker. All right, so we have made it to the finals of the CHS Faction Tournament, and the final matchup is the Four Horsemen versus the Elite. Yeah, probably, I gotta say, honestly, for me, the two top factions in pro wrestling history. I mean, you look at the Four Horsemen, that is the blueprint for what a heel faction is. There's no... I don't think there's any argument there. The Horsemen kind of set the bar for what a heel faction was all about. And I've talked about the Elite before. I mean, these guys, took a chance on themselves, started a whole new company, and, it's thriving. And even prior to that, they were part of the Bullet Club, kind of split themselves or set themselves apart from the rest of the Bullet Club, name themselves the Elite, and they have, again, like I said, they've just been thriving. But in this particular matchup, I gotta give the victory to the Four Horsemen. I mean, I'll say it again, they are the blueprint for what a heel faction is in professional wrestling. Without the Horsemen, there's no NWO, there's no DX, there's no Dangerous Alliance, and I dare say there is no Elite. So, yeah, the Four Horsemen, my opinion, greatest faction in the history of pro wrestling, and that's why they are the winners in this tournament. So, yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this little fantasy tournament I've done the last several weeks. I'm actually going to be starting up another one next week for the new year. Won't be quite as long, so it won't span quite so many weeks. But so make sure you keep an eye out for that one. So let's move on to my next segment here, and it is the weekly hot take. So my hot take for this week: Roman Reigns and Alexa Bliss have had the greatest character makeovers that I have seen in recent memory. I mean, Alexa probably had a little bit more of a complete 180 in her character, but even, Roman, even though really not changing up his look so much like Alexa has, just a complete departure from his original character, if you want to call it that. I mean, like I said, heel Roman Reigns was one of my probably my favorite thing going on SmackDown right now, and Alexa Bliss with the Fiend is definitely my favorite thing going on Monday Night Raw right now. They, like I said, they have had the greatest character makeovers in recent memory in WWE, and they are thriving. They both took it and ran with it and have done amazing jobs with the new directions that they've been given. So, kudos to them, and kudos to whoever came up with the ideas for these two, because honestly, it's about time. As far as Roman goes, this heel turn, my opinion, should have happened several years ago. With the victory over the Undertaker should have been the catalyst for this heel turn. But hey, better late than never. Roman is just running with it. He's killing it. He's just amazing in this role. And same thing with Alexa. She is just kicking ass with this new character, being a part of the Firefly Funhouse with the Fiend and everything. So awesome job by both of them. So rolling right along here, in keeping with the final show of the year. This is I lost my train of thought. Sorry, guys. In keeping with this being the last show of the year, this is the CHS Year-End Awards. All right, so I got a few awards that I want to give out. Some people I want to recognize in wrestling for the end of the year, who I think had the best years in pro wrestling. And I'm going to start that off with the Celebrity of the Year, and I think that's got to go to Pat McAfee. I mean, he has impressed me in NXT, not only with his in-ring ability. I mean, you can tell he has, spent some time training and learning and has taken it seriously, and it shows. But also on the mic. I mean, he has cut some great promos since being in NXT, and it kind of sucks that he's off of TV right now. If you read the dirt sheets and stuff, he's been, removed from NXT for the time being. It's not like he's been, fired or anything like that. But hopefully he's not off of TV too long, because he definitely was a good addition to NXT. Next up is the Surprise of the Year, and I got to give that to the partnership between AEW and Impact. I don't think anybody really saw it coming. I mean, maybe you did with Don Callis making some appearances for AEW, but I don't think anybody really expected to be seeing Kenny Omega making appearances on Impact TV, let alone participating in the main event of their next pay-per-view coming up in January. So definitely a very, very good surprise, the partnership between AEW and Impact Wrestling. Next up for Makeover of the Year, the two that I just talked about, Roman Reigns and Alexa Bliss. Like I said, best character makeovers that I have seen in a very, very long time. Next up is Manager of the Year. I think you got to give that to Paul Heyman. He is an integral part of Roman Reigns' turn, and pretty much when it comes to being a manager, pretty much anything that Paul Heyman touches turns to gold, honestly. So very, very good booking there by putting him with Roman Reigns. That brings us to the Moment of the Year, and I don't think there can be too much argument about this. It is Edge returning at the Royal Rumble this past January. I know I popped so freaking hard when his music hit, and just awesome to see Edge back in the ring. Hopefully we'll be seeing him again sometime soon. I mean, he's been out with an injury for the last several months, so hopefully he'll be making his comeback once that injury is healed. Faction of the Year, I got to give it to the Hurt Business, especially picking up the tag team titles last weekend. MVP made his return at the Royal Rumble as well. was originally supposed to be a one-off from all of the information out there. You know, he appeared at the Rumble, appeared the next night on Raw because he wanted his son to see him wrestle his last match, as he put it at that time. And yeah, that did not turn out to be the case. MVP has kind of revitalized his WWE career. He's great as a mouthpiece, and the team that he has put together with Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander, I mean, you know, these were three guys, just amazing in-ring competitors. But I think, you know, it's fair to say all three of them, you know, they needed a mouthpiece, and MVP was the perfect guy for that. And the Hurt Business has just been thriving, and I'm loving it. Hurt Business, probably my favorite faction right now. And like I said, you know, all three members of the Hurt Business now have championships, and you know, I think it's only a matter of time before we see them in, you know, a world title picture somewhere. So I'm waiting to see that one come to fruition. All right, so moving on to match of the year. Now I'm giving out three of these: one for men's, one for women's, one's for tag teams. So start off with the men's match of the year. I don't think this is going to come as a surprise to anybody. Undertaker versus AJ Styles in the Boneyard match at WrestleMania. You know, I think this match surprised a lot of people with how good it was, because you know, cinematic matches are hit or miss. And this one was definitely a hit. I love this match, and it turned out to be the Undertaker's final match, and, you know, a fantastic way for him to go out. So yeah, the men's match of the year, Undertaker versus AJ Styles in the Boneyard match at WrestleMania. Women's match of the year goes to Bayley versus Sasha Banks in the Hell in a Cell match at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Yeah, I mean, Sasha honestly has been kind of the workhorse for the SmackDown Women's division. Sasha and Bayley both, honestly. I mean, the two of them have carried the SmackDown Women's division on their backs pretty much this whole year, and you know, this match was fantastic between these two. So definitely, you know, my match of the year for the women. And tag team match of the year, the Young Bucks versus FTR for the AEW World Tag Team Championship at Full Gear. This match was a tribute to the history of tag team wrestling. They, you know, paid homage to all of the great tag teams of the past and just put on a fantastic match. This was a dream match that people had been clamoring for years, and it did not disappoint. So Bucks versus FTR, AEW World Tag Team Championship at Full Gear is your tag team match of the year. And finally, we get to the Wrestler of the Year. And again, this will be men's, women's, and tag teams. For the men, Wrestler of the Year goes to Drew McIntyre. You know, just to see where he began and where he is. You know, talk about a career revitalization. Drew McIntyre is the epitome of that. You know, spent so many years in WWE, and, you know, went from being the chosen one to being part of the comedy act that was 3MB, gets released, goes back to his roots, back to the independents in the UK, and just becomes a total badass, refocuses, and comes back, becomes the NXT champion, moves up to the main roster, and, you know, now is the top guy in WWE. So yeah, Drew McIntyre definitely has earned Wrestler of the Year. For the women, I got to give it to Bayley. You know, and I'm sure there's going to be people that are going to argue with that, but like I just talked about, Bayley and Sasha, you know, really the workhorses of SmackDown. Bayley holding the SmackDown Women's title for a record length of time, and you know, a lot of people out there like to talk so much trash about Bayley, but I gotta say, probably right now, Bayley is the top woman in WWE overall. So yeah, Bayley, Women's Wrestler of the Year. And for tag teams, I am giving this one to FTR. You know, they with their move to AEW, they again completely, you know, revitalized themselves. They were kind of being almost turned in, not even almost, they were being turned into a comedy act in WWE. They got their releases, moved on to AEW, and, the FTR that we see on TV every week now, this is what we should have seen all along. This is, the FTR, this is the revival that we saw in NXT, the top guys, the old school, old school throwback tag team that everybody loved so much in NXT that we never truly got to see on the main roster in WWE, and now we're getting to see it in AEW. So FTR definitely my tag team of the year. So that is going to pretty much wrap it up for our year-end show. Coming up next week, like I said, I'm going to be starting a brand new fantasy tournament, and this is going to be a tag team tournament for the currently fictional Warrior Wrestling tag team titles. So make sure you check that out. I think it's going to be pretty cool. And a lot of big shows coming up the first week of the year. I'm going to have previews and predictions for all of those. We're talking about Wrestle Kingdom for New Japan, Kings of Colosseum for MLW, New Year's Evil for NXT, and New Year's Smash Night 2 for AEW. So make sure you tune in next week for previews and predictions for all of those. So with that, I'm going to wrap things up. I hope everybody is having a great holiday season so far. I hope everybody has a great New Year's. Enjoy yourselves as much as you can under the current circumstances. And I want to wish everybody a happy and healthy and hopefully much, much better 2021 than we've had, in 2020. So, like I said, with that, I'm going to wrap everything up. Again, hope everybody has a great New Year's. Enjoy all the great wrestling coming up this week. Thank you again for tuning in on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from. Make sure you hit up the link tree for links to everything that is Catch, Hook, and Shoot. Just scan this little code right here in the corner, or go to linktree/catchhookshoot. You'll find everything that you need, everything related to Catch, Hook, and Shoot. So, again, thank you for tuning in. Hope everybody has an awesome week, and I will talk to you guys soon.